Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Iron Woman. We have spoken to Mandeep before. He's the fast runner. Running is his passion. He tells us the story, how to focus on the running, how to give your best and never give up. And towards the very end, he says, you don't want to be around me when I cannot run. I second that. It's just the best that you can do. Listen to what Mandeep has to share. Thank you so much, Mandeep, for having us. So tell us a little bit about your running career. I mean, I still remember once watching you, and maybe it was that when you ran the 311 in New York City, and I saw you run on 110th Street and Fifth Avenue, very strong, focused. What is the key to success in the running for you?
I think it's single-mindedness. Like Alim says that a lot. He goes, Mandeep, when he comes to run, he comes to run. He doesn't waste a workout. When he comes, he works hard. When I go to do my runs, I'll always give my 150%. I don't cheat myself because I'm enjoying it. I like it. So I think I realize it's the same determination and focus and not giving up. Well, you talk about running, right? So whatever your character is, it's your character. You can't turn a part of your character in one place and then turn it off the other place. It doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. So if you are going to do something to me, right, it doesn't matter whether I know you or not. If I'm a third person, and if you will do something to me, you will do the same thing to people that you know, because that's just part of your culture. I mean, that culture, that's part of your character. Running was to me the same thing. I worked always so hard. I never went to work and waste a day at work. I always was doing something. When I went for running, I wanted to do more. When my coach, my gym trainer told me, well, you should go and run somewhere else because you maybe should go to Steamtown because it's all downhill and you can run there and qualify for Boston. I said, no, if I'm going to qualify for Boston, this is where I'm going to qualify.
We all know that New York is a difficult course, and a lot of people say you cannot qualify in New York. So that's why they travel. Steamtown, that's in Pennsylvania. It's an easier course.
Yes. But I qualified first time was in 2009. And from 2009, every year after that I qualified. I mean, I ran times like 311, 322, 313. The following year I went when Sandy happened. They didn't have a marathon. I ended up running in Philadelphia. I ran a 316. Then the following year I was not training much. It was me and Chris. So we were just horsing around most of the time. And I trained only for about a month and a half. So I ended up going and running in Philadelphia again. And I ran a 321. I still qualified for Boston. Yeah. I just kept on qualifying and felt even running like 320s and 321s and 316, 318s felt so easy, right? Cause, it was something there. So I mean, and that's what when I took a 4 years break because I just wanted to take it easy. After 2014, I didn't run. And then 2018, Chris said, let's go run. All of us are going to Berlin and let's go to Berlin and run together. Just on a whim, I said, let me just apply, see what happens. And I just got in and I'm like, wow. So I guess I have to book my tickets. Well, I'm thinking, well, since I'm booking my tickets, I might as well start training. I joined New York Roadrunner classes again because Alim, he was training with New York Roadrunners. Stewart was with New York Roadrunners. I started running with New York Roadrunners. I had literally 45 days, either 30 or 45 days training. That's all I had. And I went to run. I ran at 334, I think, or something like that. Then the following year I came back and I was training hard again. And I wanted to run Philadelphia because I wanted to run New York, but I said, let me go with the easy one first. I felt Philadelphia is a little easier than New York. Yeah. So I trained very, very hard for it. And I'm like, you know what? anybody asks me what's your goal, so I always have two goals: the goal that I want to talk about, and a goal that I don't talk about, which is my personal commitment, right? So that's my goal. I'm telling everybody, if I run under 3:30, I'm happy. But in my heart, I'm saying I want to run under 3:20, right? And that is at age 57, 58, right? I was going to turn 58 the following month or so, something like that. My goal is, in my mind, I'm saying like, I would like to run under 3:20 if I can. I trained very hard for it. And I felt like if I went out, I could have run, if I ran the marathon, I think I could have run 3:15. I think I would have done it 3:15 because when I look at my splits, in the marathons, the first one, I'll always run 3 to 4 minutes faster than the second one, second half. But when I went there, it was very cold, and I'm actually, well, this is another thing on top of that. I'm actually asthmatic. I have very bad asthma to the point that I take 200 mcg Brio pump every morning, and I also have albuterol. I have to take both. So that's how bad my asthma is. That's why I almost died with COVID in February. It was very bad for me. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit what happened to you. First, you ran Philadelphia, and then because of your asthma.
So I went to Philadelphia. So it was a very windy and cold day. And that day of the marathon, the wind was supposed to be 15 to 18 miles an hour. And it was supposed to rain, and the temperature was going to be in the 20s. So my wife was like, "You're not running this way. You're not going to do it." I said, "You know what? Let's go there. Let's look it up." So I looked up, and the day before the marathon, it was a little bit of rain, but the temperature was in between 25 and 30. So I said, "You know what? I will go and run the half." I went there, and they switched me from, "Are you going to run under what number? What do you think your estimated time is going to be?" I said, "I don't know." She goes, "Are you going to run under 145? I said, I would hope so. So she gave me a number for the first wave, because the first wave was 145 and under, and then that way. So I said, okay. When I lined up, I went to run the race. I lined up. I'm like, you know what? The first wave, I said, okay, get first wave, because you go 5 or 10 minutes ahead of the second wave. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go to the first wave, because then I might go out too fast. And I don't know if I would have it in me, because I was doubting myself. I'm going to go in second wave. I got in the second wave, and I started running. My first mile, I clocked at 6:52. I'm like, this is not too bad. I can kind of handle this, right? Then the second mile I ran, I said, but I have to slow down. I'm like, if I go out too fast,
it's not good.
It's not good, right? The second mile I did at 7:12. But so I kept on, and then I was maintaining 7:12, 7:15, 7:18, 7:17, 7:14. It depends on if hills are up or down. And my first 10K my 10K was in 42 minutes and some change.
That's
42
fast.
minutes. Yeah. And then when I got to the end, I look at time, I'm like, could it be possible? I'm like, I think I can do a 135. And I just started pushing myself and pushing myself. And when I finished at 135 in some seconds and whatever. And and then I took my pictures and came home. I'm looking at my result. And then all of a sudden it says 10, like the age groups. I came top 10, but I was number 10, but I was still top 10.
Top 10. Congratulations. This is fantastic.
This is a national race. This is not like some local race that you're running. Like the top people are coming. So you know what? 135 at almost age 58. You know what? I will take it. It wasn't bad. So then I started getting some confidence back that I think I still have my legs with me. Yeah,
I think so. I remember those. And 135 is a very good time for all the listeners. I mean, this is a lot of training involved. And it seems like because you maybe trained for the full, because you only did the half, you had so much more strength in yourself. When we look at the professionals, I know they run like 100. I just interviewed Memo, who runs a 2:28 in Boston, full marathon, right? He trains in the morning, in the evening, and he runs 90 to 100 miles, even more, right? For a marathon. So how many miles do you run per week when you train for a marathon?
Well, when I was training, the most I ran, I think was about 52 or 53.
Yeah, see?
And I was running almost 5 days a week. And there were 2 days that I was doing double days. In the morning, I would go out and run 5 miles. Let's say I would do a 5-mile workout, a recovery, or a pickup, 5 miles. In the evening, I would run like a 5-mile easy. And that would be, so I would run 10 miles the day before the day I was going to take off. And the following day, I would take off. Right? If I'm running 5 days, so then 2 days are my rest days. Then I would, like the days that I was going to rest, the day before I would run a double. like 10 miles or 12 miles, sometimes even 14, 15 miles. And the last 2 weeks were my hardest weeks because those were I doubled up on my miles and I ran maximum 54, 55. Normally I was running between 45, 46, 47, but the last 2 weeks I took it up to 55 and I ran, I think 55 and I ran 56. I ran 2 weeks, 6 days a week. So I only ran one day double. One day I ran double and the other days, but I did much more quicker workouts. You know, I got help also. I got help because Alim's son-in-law, Faven's husband, he's an international runner. He's basically a 1 hour half marathon. 1 hour half marathon. Tashame, his name is Tashame. So I told Alim, I said, listen, I need 2 days, somebody who can really, work with me on my speed and like do my intervals at a faster clip. So Alim had to do something. He goes, you know what? I'm going to ask Tashame. So Tashame came in and he gave me about 2 weeks where he was 2 or 3 weeks where he was helping me with my tempo, with my intervals. I cheated a little bit. It was a little bit of a cheating.
It's not cheating. You do the work. You do the work with your feet.
Yeah, it was
and then,
tough.
I can imagine. And tell us about the COVID. And I'm really sorry. I feel for you, right? So it takes a long time to recuperate.
Yeah, I think running had something to do with it too. Because, every year after I finish running, 4, 5, 6 months off because, it happens in November. I'll take December off and January, February, March because I'm working very busy with my work. Yeah. I will keep on working. Then I will start running in April again. But this year, because I ran only a half, so I felt like I was cheating. I didn't feel as tired. After a half, I'd be right back to, again. It was not that bad for me because it was easy. Yeah. I went back to running again. I ran November. I ran December. I ran January. I ran first week of February till that big week when it was big snowstorm, right? I couldn't run that time. But even like in 12, 13, 14 degrees, I was running and I was doing intervals and I was doing speed workout because my asthma was very worked up those days and I was coughing a lot and I was my phlegm was coming up. I think my lungs were very inflamed. As soon as I got exposed to COVID, it just got me very, very hard, very hard. I had to get an antibody transfusion. I had to get antibiotics and then I got COVID pneumonia. And this was around the second week of February. So since then, I'm back to running. I started running sometime in March, a little bit, like 4 or 5 miles I started with 2 times a week. And Alam was helping me out a lot. He says, don't go crazy. Let's go easy. Build up. But now I'm running 3 days, sometimes 4 days a week, but I'm not running. I run 5, 6, 7 miles. My running is not where I would like it to be. But the best I did was last week at average around 8:20 a mile. My fastest mile was 7:45. It was just like a little bit of a pickup. Yeah, it was a lot of effort, which was normally used to be an easy run for me. It's a lot of effort. That made me realize that I'm still not there, still bothering me. And Chris asked me if I want to run the New York City Marathon this year. I said, I can't do it.
It seems like you're very hard on yourself. I mean, professionally and also in the running world. And sometimes we need to step back and see, is it worth it, right? Even if you have Alam, your fantastic coach, or Chris, the team captain, but it's maybe not worth it. Maybe you can wait a year. I don't know.
It's always worth it. Running is, I don't know what I would do without running, but you don't have to compete. Run to enjoy it. Run to enjoy it, right? I would never want to stop running. I love running so much that I'd rather run less, but run for the rest of my life. I never ever want to give up running because it gives me so much joy, so much pleasure. It clears my mind. It makes me think more clearly, lucid. It does so much for your character. You have camaraderie, you have teamwork, you have people you help. A friend of mine just started running. He's 65 years old and he's so happy. He goes, thank you, my brother. Thank you. Because of you, I'm doing, my family's so happy. Just like, it's so much fun.
I think so.
The tangible part is running, but the intangibles that you get out of running, they're like priceless, just absolutely priceless. I would never want to give up running.
We're ending here on a very high note, but thank you so much, Mandeep. This is inspirational. We don't want to give up running. I know how it is for me. The running is something magical and we don't want to give up. So good luck. Take good care of yourself and maybe rest 1 year. You can still run, but maybe not compete.
Yes, that's what I plan to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The running sounds fantastic. We need to run more, and good luck, even if you don't compete, but keep running, keep inspiring others. Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday, every Wednesday. Chime in. There's something for everybody. It's about running. It's about being an entrepreneur. It's about the determination and never giving up. Take it from the Iron Woman started out as a book. Read in the book. There's something for you. Global business coaching with sports parallels. Thank you so much. See you next time.